Four Stalker Expo, just a little bit easier, a little bit more solid. Let's make that your standard. Let's do that every game.
Alright, sounds good.
Okay, cool. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a Four Stalker expand, guys. I think that's the better choice right now. Yeah, a little bit slow on that core, a little bit sloppy there. You need to go scout. The latest you want to scout is core scout. And even that is kind of late. Yeah, his opponent's doing an illegitimate expand build. It's important to know how to counter this. This is part of PvP. Even at GM, I get players doing these expand builds and just hoping their opponents don't react properly. So, oh shit. Why is he not scouted? He's worried about cannons or something, I think. First two Stalkers go to pressure. So what about scout proxies? Do we want to talk about that maybe? I'm not sure. Probe hidden at enemy fourth to help scout if they explode. Next two Stalkers and Mothership Core immediately. And the depths. Alright, so from here it should still be non-stop probe production. Those Stalkers can go poke across the map. You know what? Let's pause real quick here, actually. Just 1 minute. 1 minute. So
I messed up that build quite a bit, but it's okay.
wasn't that major. But let's talk about what you're up against, because this is not normal, right?
No, it's not.
So what's your instinct? Imagine this is a ladder game. What do you think you'd usually do in this scenario? Seeing this fast expansion.
I would be attacking with my stalkers and trying to do as much damage as I could. Hopefully, but usually that doesn't end out too well usually though. Usually what ends up happening is he'll end up defending it with the mothership core, and then I'll end up losing the game because he'll be able to macro better. So.
Okay, so you've just mentioned a plan. You haven't mentioned many details. You've said try to pressure and get damage done with your stalkers, but what else are you doing? Are you just following your build as normal behind that? What's going on?
Usually what happens is I end up getting a little bit of a bank, and so I'll turn back and end up dropping one more gateway and a twilight and a robo after I'm done trying to pressure with my stalkers.
Is this with an expansion down at your normal timing or what?
No, this is staying on one base. Maybe trying to expand. It all depends on how much minerals I have and how I feel about how long his base has been down.
Okay, so this isn't really a plan. So I'm gonna be super critical. I'm gonna bring the pain right now. I'm gonna say, come on, man, Barnacle.
My PvP's really bad. I don't have any. I have very bad planning. I don't have.
You gotta be confident. You gotta make a clear decision and commit to it, right? So what I've heard from you, let me explain what you just said in very critical terms. You've said, I'm gonna try to use my units to get some damage done because he's being greedy. That makes sense. That's fine. But you've had zero other plan. You've said I might just bank resources and then throw it into random structures. That's literally what you just said. So you want to have two things. Now, if someone's going greedy against you, there's two ways you can react to it in the broad sense. Doesn't matter what the matchup is. Can you kind of imagine what those two directions you might want to go to counter someone who's being
myself, or go really aggressive to punish them for being greedy?
Spot on. Exactly. Neither is necessarily correct. It's just about choosing one and committing to it. You at the moment are doing neither, which means you give yourself a 0% chance for victory in this scenario. You're simply saying, this is a situation I don't know how to respond to. I'm not going to make a decision, and you will always lose when that happens. So it's always better to say, let's just go super hard all in, or let's go super hard greedy to respond to it. And it totally comes down to you. My personal thing that I love to do when I see someone expanding PvP is just go kill them. And the first 10 times I did this, I maybe won somewhere between 3 and 5 of those 10 games because my execution was utter shit. And And people still try this at GM level. These days, I'd say I win 8 out of 10 games by just doing a 1-base all-in. I'll be like, oh, you're doing that? And I'll just like, okay, proxy a Stargate or something, chrono warp gate, make 4 gateways with 1 gateway proxy and just try to kill them. And that often does work. But you can very easily just take your own expansion after just 2 Stalkers. If your 4 Stalkers don't usually get anything, just say, all right, we'll just pressure with the 2 Stalkers, but I'm just going to take my own expand. And you're not going to have much scouting, so you're not going to know that I'm being greedy behind it. And we just play it out from there. It's not like you're that far ahead. Which one do you prefer? I mean, do you want to go all in against this, or do you want to expand yourself?
Probably go all in. Yeah, would be better. Refining the skills to go all in against it. All
right, cool. I think that's a good way to do it. Big thanks, by the way, very quickly. Aircon is chill. Really appreciate the sub. Thank you very much. So, what's the plan? You can proxy a Robo. You can proxy a Stargate. You can just build a Stargate at home. The simplest is just to do a 4-gate, right? But let's do it with some tech. Since we're scouting it late, you've already mined some gas. So, what do you want? What do you want to do? An Immortal or a Stargate? I think an Oracle would be really nice. What do you reckon?
Sure.
Yeah,
I'll try it out. I'm not really comfortable with the star units, so like,
it's okay.
I'm more comfortable with the air, so.
All right.
I'll try it out though.
Okay, sure. Basically, you just run it in while distracting at the front. You just shift click it on the probes, or sometimes you just click it in the mineral line, turn the laser on, and hope it does its thing. Yeah. Okay. No worries. So let's. So what's the plan here? You're gonna pressure with these 2 Stalkers. Talk me through the rest. What's the next couple steps?
I guess I need to drop the Stargate.
Yep. And
I really don't know how to play that. Though.
If you're doing a 1-base all into your opponent, I mean, you need to warp in units at their base, right? So you need a proxy gateway at like the 3rd or 4th base or whatever, out on their side of the map.
Alright, sounds good.
So I think your probe's probably going to die. That's across the map. So you need to send a probe out right away to go start proxying a gateway to get a warp in point while building that Stargate at home. Other than that, just figure it out as you go. It's really, really basic. I might remind you of pylons here or there. Like I said, I screwed it up a lot my first few times. That's fine. Let's just figure it out as we go.
Alright, sounds good.
Alright, cool. Decisiveness. Most important part here. And all right, let's get into this. So remember to put down that Stargate, send a probe across the map to start your proxy pylon. And those Stalkers, of course, can work their way across the map and poke at the front.
I'm here in the shadows.
You know, guys, I think I muted my mic when I meant to mute myself on Discord. I think that's what happened. I'm a smart human being. Big thanks, Aircon is chill. You know, though, the whole point of aircon as opposed to like a fan or a fridge is that it can also be very hot or warm. So your name is redundant. Just, I needed to tell you that.
Finished learning. Let our enemy know.
Oof. Some real sloppy micro. That was like god awful micro there.
Yeah, that's really bad. I just got destroyed.
That's right. Focus. Recover. Come on, you're floating 1,000 minerals. Let's go. Come on, build. Go up to like 5 gateways. Come on, let's spend that money. Queue up an oracle. Let's go. Come on. He's not playing stats here. All you need to do is be decisive in StarCraft, guys. You don't need to play at 400 APM. You don't need to make perfect decisions. You just need to be decisive and stick with a game plan and try to make it work. That's actually the most important thing. The easiest thing to improve in StarCraft is just being decisive and sticking to a plan and trying to make it work. You know, don't try to overanalyze every single situation. Okay, so we're going to leave it at just that one oracle. Yeah, you're going to put him on a hotkey, which is a good way to do it. And you're going to just keep warping in units at the front non-stop. And you can try and do a two-pronged attack. You're going to do your best with this. Taking forever to warp in these units. Real clunky, real clunky. He's got to get more used to this, for sure. Is he poking with 5 stalkers right now when he's got 1,000 minerals? He's not warping in units when he's just had 3 warp gates finished building. He really is not comfortable with this at all. Warp in units. You've had those warp ins ready for about 30 seconds. Remember, even when you're all inning, the macro is the most important part.
Gotcha.
Oh, he just moved commander to stalkers. Alright, he's held. That's all good.
Yeah.
That's fine. You lost your rhythm really hard after after our little chat. That's fine. So that's cool. Like I said, I fuck this sort of stuff up so many times. When you first do it, that's what you expect. You expect to make mistakes. So we want to actually practice that a few times in a row. Because this just getting used to these tight execution of these attacks, the micro of it, puts you in control. And it's also something, if you're ever having a really bad day in PvP, you want to get some easy wins. Doing a cheeky 1-base all-in, no matter what you're up against, is actually a really good way to go about it. Simplifies the game plan, allows you to focus on the basics, and very hard for your opponent to actually hang on and respond there. So, wasn't there someone else we had in here observing before? Who was it? Maybe they pissed off because we didn't choose them to play. I don't know. Whatevs. We'll just go again. Make sure you go Protoss. Same opening again, please, man. Whew. Ready? We ready? Right. So, in terms of your opening, let's just clean up your opening a little bit from the last game. You can send your scout across a little bit earlier. Either the moment your core goes down or even after, say, your second gateway goes down. Just it's better to send it a little bit earlier rather than later. Also helps you out against weird, cheesy things like cannon rushes and proxy gates and stuff like that. So anyway, good luck, have fun. Kick some ass. There we go. So that last game was gross, guys. That was gross. But sometimes your games are gross when you're first getting used to something. The big thing we saw, though, from Barnacle was a lack of confidence more than anything. Today isn't necessarily going to be about the specifics, I don't think, of improving his macro PvP. Like, I can already just sense from the way he's responding to having to adapt to a situation, the way he was responding to every little mistake he made, that Barnacle is not confident at all. Like, not only is he not confident, it seems like he's borderline traumatized by his experiences in this matchup. And that means we need to work more on his confidence, because no matter what I tell him to do, he's not going to be able to do it. He's basically just going to choke up really, really hard. And this is something I've coached a lot of people in this situation before. And that's why I think this is actually really lucky we kind of stumbled upon this situation, where his opponent's doing a greedy expand. Why is that so important? Because it allows us to practice doing an all-in. It allows us to practice a very simplified game plan where even if he fucks up a few things, he can still get some wins. We can build up his confidence a little bit, and hopefully we have time towards the end of the session to actually get him into executing some standard play a little bit better, because he just seems a very, very uncomfortable from that last game. We'll see. Could have been a one-off. Could have been a one-off. You're always traumatized after ladder? Yeah, I think a lot of people get traumatized in one matchup, man. They freak out a little bit. You're 4K MMR, you can't for the life of you play PvP, you got a 20% win rate and 6% in others. You know, I learned Protoss last year, and I did a few really good PvP dailies. Ronin Lyle. With like Showtime and stuff, so definitely, you know, might be worth watching those, but even just what we talk about here should really help you out. 40% in TVT, aircon is chill. Check click on the spawning tool link below. Air superiority TVT. Assuming you're diamond plus, that's the build for you. Even platinum, I think it's probably still the build for you. If you're below plat, it's probably not. There's probably more fundamentals to work on. But air superiority TVT, pretty beautiful, man. Pretty beautiful. Try it out. It's a very, very good, strong opening. It's what helped my play for a long time now. So he's seeing the expansion. He's dropping a Stargate. Okay, so it's nice to drop the gateway at home, but it's more important to get your proxy up. That gateway is the one which you want to be warping in off, so getting the gateway up on the front is going to be more important. So far, though, you're kicking ass, man. This is so much cleaner. You're doing really well. Keep it up. So yeah, he should put this gateway down here. You know, he's getting the Stargate so slowly. So this is definitely something where I'm like, oh man, this is kind of gross. And I'm like, it's fine. He's not playing at my level. You know, like if I did that in my game, I'd be like super harsh on myself. Instead, I'm gonna write instant Stargate, Oracle, maybe 2 oracles. Proxy gateway, 4th gate at home. Oracle in the main. Whoops. Somehow I got off his camera. I don't even know how. But anyway.
Oracle perceiving.
He should be able to hit before that immortal gets out, but he's taken a really long time to get this up. Is he going 5 gateways again? Jesus Christ. You don't
I think I have too many gateways, actually.
Absolutely, yeah. You only need 4 normally. You can even do this with 3 if you do it tight. The only reason we built so many last game is because you were floating so much money. You're doing well though. Keep this going. Let's go. Let's do it. Oracle in the main, Stalkers in the front. So what's why has he not clicked this Oracle in yet? Did he not? He didn't have a hotkey. Oh gosh. Ugh. Disorganization. Ugh. Ugh. I hope you watch this VOD, Barnacle, so you can see my disgust. Because you know what? By the end of today, it's not going to be disgust. It's going to be excitement at all of that progress we've made. All that progress.
The enemy has discovered us.
I'm here in the shadows. Let our
Nope, 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 nope. That's a fight. You don't fight immortals with stalkers. That ain't something you do, guys. That ain't something you do. How do you hotkey units? Control. The number. Come on. He won't be able to kill that immortal.
Yeah, I probably should just end up.
Yeah, keep fighting though. Keep fighting. Get that oracle in. Get that oracle in the main. Come on, man. Multitask. We both know you can't win from here, but you keep accidentally move commanding in the front. Come on, oracle. Those units shouldn't have gone in until after the oracle was already in there.
We meet our fate.
Come on, 1-2 punches. Let's keep going. Yeah, let's keep trying. Cheeky. So we should be doing adept shades at this point. If you're ever desperate trying to find damage, adept shades are the way. But it's okay. At this point, we're out of units. We're out of steam. It's fine. So that one was 1,000 times better. His build is reasonably tight, but so started building gateways at home. Remember, you gotta get that proxy gate at first. Not only that, let's watch the replay real quick and let's take a look. So these sort of builds are really going to demand a little bit more refinement from you. And it's really good because it just forces you to focus on different things. It's great to have consistency and play the same thing every game. But it's also really good to have certain branches which you refine. And having just a very simple all-in for a matchup which you're not that confident in, very, very nice. So let's take a look here at your opening. 8 times speed. We're going to zoom, 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 zoom. Pylon, gate, gas, second gateway. Cybercore. Could have been maybe a second or two faster. Not the end of the world. Probe comes in. Immediately, there should be a Stargate down. So right now, it's 155, right? You spotted that Nexus about 5-10 seconds ago. There should already be a Stargate down. But you've already forgotten your second pylon. Right? So that's going to supply block you here. You're not going to be able to start your first 2 Stalkers for another 10 seconds. So that already is a pain. And then 155. And even if he sees the Stargate, who cares? Like you're not trying to be coy, right? Once you get better at executing it, you can try and hide things. You know, you can flutter your eyelashes at your opponent from across the room. You know, flutter your fan and try to mystify him with tricky things like waiting until he leaves your base before putting tech down. But let's look at the delay on this Oracle from when it should have hit. So like I said, 155 goes down to almost 245. So that's like a 47-second delay. Now let's take a look. Even longer, actually, because you had to cancel that extra gateway and then build it. You then start it almost immediately. You do chrono boost it. But we don't hotkey it, unfortunately. And, oh, you do hotkey it. Okay. But you just didn't send it in. But yeah, this could have been in there a long time ago. Guess what? His mothership core just popped out. Your Oracle could have arrived before his mothership core popped out. And all of his Stalkers would have been at the front. Oh, that would have been so juicy, man. So you come in the front here, but you've gone in without the Oracle going in. And the Oracle's already been sitting there for about 20 seconds. So try to get in this mode of whenever you're doing multi-prong, and this is something which does take a lot of practice. Sometimes I do oversimplify it, make it sound easier than it actually is. But it should just be send the Oracle in, go in with the Stalkers, right? Because you know the Oracle's going to take like 10 seconds. You know he's going to overcharge, right? You know you're not going to be able to just overwhelm him. So you go in, he overcharges, you click back, and you focus on microing that Oracle. But instead, you made it really easy for him. He gets to focus on defending the front. You pull back, then you send the Oracle in. 15 seconds later, the Oracle hits the main base. Now, you can imagine how much harder this would be for him if you were hitting just a little bit tighter. Other than that, whenever there's an Immortal out, you need to be really decisive and you need to kill the Immortal. Now, a lot of the times you were engaging in both games whenever there was Immortals out and you were just kind of focusing Stalkers. You either say, I can kill that Immortal right now, or I am backing off. A very, very good technique is just make a few Zealots, or Adepts even better, and have them in front. That way the Immortal's not dishing out this insane amount of damage. And then you can afford to take a little bit of a sloppier fight. But with just Stalkers, it's like you need to like move forward, shoot Immortal, move forward, shoot Immortal, and get rid of it in 2 volleys, or you're just taking too much damage. So don't be afraid to back off with this. I know there's a lot of urgency because you're not used to this build. You're like, he's on 2 bases, I gotta do it now. But trust me, you're gonna actually have a bit more time than you realize. So just be patient with it, and that should be fine. All right, so going back to the very first thing we focused on in this replay, what is the #1 thing you need to look at to make your build tight?
Oh, that pylon needs to be down earlier.
Yep. And what flows on immediately after that?
As soon as my Cybercore is done, I can drop my Warp Gate. Or my Stargate, sorry.
As soon as you see that he's got a Nexus, yeah.
Yeah,
Which is basically when your core is finishing. Like it's right around then, yeah. So as soon as you see a Nexus, you're like, oh, bam, Stargate's going down. That should be fine. Taishu is back as well. Hop out of that replay. Let's go into another game. So it didn't feel like it for you, I'm sure, but that was 1,000 times better than the previous game. So you're already doing better. You're getting cleaner at this. And having one of these smooth, oh, you're being greedy, bam, I'm going to kill you. Like, this is really good. It's just going to get you focused on that nice, aggressive opening. So, yeah, same opening one more time. Same opening, please. One more of that. All right. You ready? Mm-hmm. And so is he. All right, man. Sweet. So this is the game where it all starts to come together. So you scout a Nexus really early. You put down a Stargate at home. What are you going to do with that scouting probe? Where is he going to go as soon as that happens?
To the 4th or whatever, wherever I'm doing my proxy.
Hells yeah. Planning ahead, getting everything nice and organized. It's going to be beautiful. And you don't even need to add an extra gateway at home. You just do that a bit later. Like, it's all about just get the Stargate down really fast, get the proxy gateway up, and often with just 3 gateways, you can kill your opponent. Just remember, that's the order. Only add extra gateways at home after you've got everything else kind of ready if you need to. But even if you end up on only 3 gates, you can totally close this out. It'll be completely fine.
Sounds good.
Awesome, man. All right, let's get in our groove. I think Tysh, I think he crashed again. God damn it. All right. Sorry, Taishi. We're not going to invite you to the next one because you are wasting our time. Good shit. Good shit. So let's use this minute as we always should. Visualize. You've got 6, 7 stalkers at the front, an oracle about to go in the main. You want to send the stalkers in first. So if your oracle's maybe a few screens away, you can click the oracle in, right? Just on the minimap. But your stalkers want to be the ones that engage first. Why? Because you want the mothership core to go towards the natural and overcharge the natural. You don't want it to just pop 2 overcharges on your oracle because you're not a fancy oracle micro player. You're not going to be wanting to dodge that. So time it out. So you try to get the mothership core towards the natural first, and the oracle should have a party in that main base.
Sounds good.
Laser disco orgy where all the little robots die. Should be great. Here we go. Good luck. Have fun, man. Getting that groove. Build order was looking pretty clean last game. Just a little supply block. Did slow you down and throw you off. But this time it's going to be much cleaner. Kick some ass. Good luck. Have fun. Hey, dudes. How do you get me to coach you? You pay him. Yeah. It is a paid service, guys. I do try to talk to you guys, answer your questions whenever I can, but it is a paid service, which is why I put a bit more focus on the student than you guys watching on the stream while we are doing this. 4th gate at home, proxy gateway, instant Stargate. Yep. Okay, so when you push, send in oracle. Attack front at stalkers. Try to bait out overcharge. Pick off some stalkers. You send in the oracle. Timed out to hit after the stalkers force a reaction. And that should be really nice. Instant Stargate, oracle, maybe 2. Proxy gateway. So that's the scouting probe goes to proxy gateway. 4th gate at home. Oracle's the main, stalkers at the front. Hotkey oracle. When you push, verse immortals. Focus them down with forward stutter step immediately. Or back off. If you can't engage, warp in some adepts for buffer, then go again. The adepts will absorb all those dirty immortal shots. Alright, so you forgot to scout. That's fine. Let's imagine we've seen a Nexus. Oh, okay. So let's put a Stargate down. And as soon as you see the Nexus with your probe, send it to your proxy location. So let's queue it up to go there straight away. It can go there right now. Yeah. Alright, stalkers can go pressure across the map. Yep. And looking good. Now, because you've seen an expansion, it's very unlikely that he is going to be able to get 2 adepts across the map, right? Which is why you can skip the mothership core entirely. So stalkers just go across the map, can start pressuring, and yeah, pylons. Got to make sure these pylons. So your oracle's going to be slightly supply blocked. Now this might feel terrible. It's not. I do this all the time with this build, and I beat IGM Protoss who try to fast expand. Get that gateway down and get your stalkers to hit the front. Your stalkers shouldn't be up here at the proxy, though you should be putting that gateway down at the proxy right now. And that should time out quite nicely. You're doing really well. Good shit. Just one Oracle, and yeah, you're doing good. So if he just picks off 1 or 2 probes, don't go too deep. Get out of there. Yeah, resist the greed. Good job picking off 2 probes for free. But if you get those stalkers trapped, it fucks you. So grab all your stalkers, send them across, get that Oracle in position, get your warp gates all morphed. You do need a 3rd gateway at home or a 4th gateway, though it won't be ready in time for the warp-ins, but that's fine. Like I said, 3 gateways will get the job done. Ooh, it took a really long time to morph that warp gate. A little bit iffy. I guess he was looking at this one. There we go. Okay, so he's got 6 stalkers. He has 1 warp in ready right now, but he didn't use it. A little bit sloppy on managing his warp ins with his engages here. So Neon's starting to blind counter him. But guess what? Because his units are in the main, it's not at the natural. You do have to find time to warp in, so even if you back your stalkers off, that's totally fine, but got to make sure you keep warping in units. Even if you just run away, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with backing off. Grouping up your stalkers and then going. But you've got to be organized with these stalkers. Every time you warp them in, you should be adding them to that control group. And don't be afraid to back off a little bit. Don't get too carried away with the micro. Keep attacking. And in about 10-15 seconds, you can have enough energy on that Oracle. Maybe about 20 seconds to go in again. So group up, go for another attack on the front, and send the Oracle into the main mineral line at the same time. So this was better, but he just didn't warp in. His proxy is also very far away, which is kind of okay, but yeah. Where's the Stalker micro? Very bad micro here. Those should be Adepts, not Zealots, and he should have let them get in the front. So really bad engagement micro, unfortunately. He hasn't turned his Oracle on, otherwise he could have... You gotta just turn that Oracle laser beam on. Keep warping in units. So you're focusing on your micro too much at the front. You don't need to even micro it, just keep warping in units and keep A-moving them.
The enemy has discovered us.
Yeah, he's just freaking himself out, guys. This is what I'm talking about. It's inability to even execute a basic rush, and it's not because he can't, because I've seen Barnacle play a ton better than this. It's just pure trauma, panic, / lack of confidence, whatever you want to call it. He's just not playing as well as he could. Like, he should have killed that entire main mineral line with his Oracle. He just didn't turn it on.
Oh my god.
You're gonna wait for one more warp in. Now it's gonna be Adepts. Remember what we talked about. He's got Immortals. You're gonna warp in 4 Adepts. You're gonna put them in front of your Stalkers, and then you can engage, because those Immortals are gonna do shit all damage to the Adepts. You can also queue up another Oracle. Why? You've got money! You've got lots of money, so let's queue up one more Oracle.
My hotkey.
Alright, big 4 Adept warp in. Let's try and make this push work.
The firstborn shall persevere.
I'm just going to use them as meat. Barnacle's got some good shit, guys, but yeah, he's just kind of like freezing up in these engagement situations, like way too much. He's just like, oh, staring at it, and he's not making the right decisions. Part of it's just experience. He's going to get 1,000 times better at this the more he plays these situations. But like here, he's like clicking on the Immortal, but he's not stutter stepping forward or anything like that. But that was way better. That was way better. The Adepts were in front. He warped in during the fight. I mean, he should have known the fight was lost and pulled back there, but that's okay.
Oh well. That was a good try.
He was 1,000 times better here. You know, if you turned that Oracle on in the main, it probably would have killed the entire mineral line. You floated 1,000 minerals, right? So there's a lot of just over micro going on. So pull it back a little bit and just focus on warping in those units. So that's the only thing you need to focus on here. To be honest, that Oracle mistake, totally excusable. The first Oracle that went in, he had a Mothership Core and a Stalker. He was kind of blind countering it, but you started getting heaps of damage done at the front, which was awesome. What you've got to remember, though, is you should always have a timer in your head saying, I need to warp in. So every time you warp in, how long until your next warp in cycle off the top of your head if you've just warped in 4 stalkers?
15 seconds? I don't know.
Literally no one knows this. No one knows the warp in cycle. I don't know it, but I'm going to say 25 seconds. I think it's about 20 seconds, about 22 maybe.
20? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
because let's say 20, about 20 seconds. But basically, yeah, you want to be warping in every 20 seconds without fail. You're doing so much better at this, by the way. Yeah, you'd almost broken him there. You know, he was in chaos. You wanted to get the mothership core. That was all good, but you definitely could have at some point just either pulled the units back or said, well, they're getting damaged. Let's just leave them there fighting and let's go warp in. Warping in doesn't take that much time. You know, it's just something which is a bit awkward. So how are you going to your warp in point, by the way? Are you just clicking on the minimap?
I think so, yeah.
Do you use camera
Should I
hotkeys?
I do and don't. I can need to get practice.
Okay, so you create camera hotkeys. You don't use them. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, you're like a lot of people. Many people create camera hotkeys, but don't really use them very much at all. That's fine. Hotkey it. You've got so many free hotkeys. Why don't you just double tap 3 or something like that, which you've got empty. I think you've got 3 empty. One of those hotkeys you do. And then you can zoom there. You can be like double tap 3, warp in units, immediately shift 1 onto your army hotkey, and go back to the front and keep fighting there because you're really struggling with that warp in cycle. So just try to remember, and even if it takes a few seconds, it's worth it. This is 90% of the time it's going to be if you just rally your units and A move them at the front, plus keep rallying Oracle into the main or even 2 Oracles, you will usually win with this build. So let's try it one more time. Just put a bit more focus on those production cycles. And if you go, but I'm microing right now, I'm in danger, just pull the units back if you have to, warp in the units, then go back in. Don't be afraid to back off from a fight or what looks like a favorable engagement. Just because of that. Sorry. Jesus. Keyboard's coming unplugged. All right, you good?
Yeah.
All right. Great defense, Naon. Let's do it one more time. He was so close to being broken last game, man. So close. All right. Build looked way better last game. You do want to get that 4th and maybe even a 5th gateway back home because you know you are going to make some mistakes with warp-ins. Just, you know, so after your proxy gate goes down, it's like, okay, get those other ones down. Yeah. Let's try and get that rhythm down and keep focusing on that build order. Good luck, have fun. So biggest problem, guys, that we've noticed throughout all of this and why I keep talking about confidence and Barnacle lacking it and why we hope we can regain that confidence by the end of today is his not following a basic opening build order properly. So what's happening is every game he's either forgetting a pylon, he's forgetting his cyber core, or he's not scouting at time. On time. If you can't do the first 2 minutes of the game cleanly and proficiently every single game, you're going to have a lot of issues that flow on from that. But that usually comes about because you lack confidence. So during the early game, rather than focusing on the basic details that you should be focusing on, your brain's going, what if he goes Oracles? What if he goes DTs? What about that time yesterday that guy wrecked me by just killing me with these Immortals? I don't even know how his army was so much bigger than mine. You get a lot of trauma, fear running around your head when you're not understanding what's going wrong in a matchup. We're simplifying things down to you need to make build order good. It will usually win you game. And bringing it down to that basic caveman level of understanding, we allow our brain to rest at ease and say the only thing that matters is focusing on those details. That is the most important thing. Get on it and get it done. Sorry, you guys could hear that as well? Yeah, sorry, that was my keyboard, guys. 23 seconds for Stalkers and Sentries. All right, I was pretty close, Mink. I was like 20, 25 seconds. We'll just say 20 seconds. Good to know that I'm on point. Is that Heart of the Swarm time or Legacy time, though? That's kind of a question as well. Because it's confusing. Never know which one is written down in those articles. All right, so you forgot to send the scout out again. Let's send the scout out. It's fine, don't worry, just focus on your build. So what do you need to do? 2 Stalkers, get your Warp Gate going. And what do you do after that? It's gonna be, what's next? You know he's expanded.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go put a proxy pylon.
Stargate.
Stargate. Oh yeah.
There we go. It's a pretty well-timed Stargate. That'll be fine. That'll be totally fine. So you're gonna rally those stalkers straight across the map. You know, hotkey them straight away. You're looking really good. Let's get that proxy pylon going. If you want, you can get 2 more stalkers going first. Up to you. I like getting the proxy going. Yeah. There we go. All right. So, what's the next on the build list? It's going to be that proxy gateway, and then after that, an extra gateway or 2 back at home. This time the build is looking crisp. It's looking sexy. Keep it up, mate. It said Legacy of the Void, so I'm assuming Legacy. I hope so, mate. Thanks, man. Appreciate you looking it up. Back off. Stop focusing on it. You got to stop looking at these fights, remember? Stop getting panicked. Build 2 more gateways at home. Get your Oracle queued up. Come on. Like I said the first time, stop overcommitting with your units. You go in, maybe kill a probe, you back off. The most important thing is to only focus on your units in between the macro that has to happen. Chrono boost that Oracle. Let's make warp gates. Let's start warping in over at our proxy gateway. Let's put that on number 2. That proxy gateway, so we can double tap 2 to zoom to it. That's going to be awesome. Warp in those gateways, those stalkers. Yeah, let's go. It's going to be really nice.
I'm here in the shadows.
Oracle perceiving.
Proxy location's a bit far away. Well, it's reliable. It's reliable, Sonny. Like you can totally kill someone with this. Definitely you could do it closer, but at the level he's playing at, it really does not matter. Where are the stalkers? Why aren't they? They're not going in right now. I'm just build another pylon as well. Get this going. You've got to get over there right now. There's no reason for him to have been just waiting there though. So the problem Barnacle has is if his units are anywhere near the opponent's units, he just stares at them and is incapable of continuing to build his units. That's fine. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. There's 3 stalkers there. The front has nothing. He should be clicking on the pylon. Yep, focus the pylon down, you'll be fine. Warp in units.
I have met the enemy.
I don't know why his units are in the main base. I'm getting really frustrated today. I shouldn't be. I hope Barnacle doesn't watch this coaching session. But here's what we need to do, guys. We need to do this one more time after this, because honestly, this is super useful. But I need to write something down right now. Yeah, I know what I've got to write down. So this is the most important. This is the linchpin. This is the linchpin. It's not the best way to do it, but it's the best way for his current skill level and the current mistakes he's making. And look, it looks like he might even make this work. I don't think he will, though. No, he doesn't quite have the numbers. He's getting better at warping in. He is improving. He is improving. Pull back units? Yeah. It's like...
Oh my gosh.
If you're not confident in your unit's position, pull them back each time you warp in. Like, the way he chased him up the ramp was what has made this game vaguely close. Like, it should have been his to win super easy if he stayed down the low ground, but he just let his army kind of follow its way up there. He does have another Oracle on the way. You're doing really well. Just keep trying to fight as best you can. You're getting better and better at this. He's getting a lot better, guys. As I'm frustrated because I'm so impatient, right? Because I'm used to watching myself improve. When it comes to all-ins, I don't coach all-ins much, so it's like it's very different because I'm just like, oh, just do the thing. But there's actually so much to it that I take for granted because I have so much experience, you know.
I probably shouldn't
It is a good point, by the way, that his pylon's really far away. He's completely forgotten about the Oracle. See, once again, he just left them fighting in a losing battle. Didn't pull them back to warp him. Or he tried to, but didn't have them hotkeyed properly. One or the other, I'm not sure. That's been sitting there for over a minute. It's got a ton of energy.
The minerals have up and gone.
You wonder why the enemy hasn't teched into disruptors? Because he's being all in. He's just barely trying to hold on, building whatever he can. Disruptors are the last thing you want against a one base all in. You just want immortals, stalkers, mothership core, anything that fights. They pulled his probes. Alright, this one was getting a lot better. Yeah, we've just had one problem this game, and we can go for one last attack, but it's going to be really hard to break him at this point. Pretty much impossible. But you can go one more time, do the the two-pronged, keep fighting. It's all good practice. And that is just when your units chased him into the main. So if you're ever unsure of your position, if you've got to go back to warp in, pull your units back and then go warp in. So there's been a lot of times where you've just kind of left your units fighting overcharge or fighting versus double their number of units, where if you pulled back, kept them alive, joined them up with the warp in, you would have been able to overwhelm. So there's no problem with pulling back for a moment, just being a little bit more patient with it. This is part of the power of the oracles going in as well, is like you do have a little bit of ability to kind of come in from multiple angles. This time around though, like I said, the execution was way better. Way better.
Something I gotta practice more. I haven't played like this.
You were so close, man. First time doing the build. This is actually really good. You can tell he's played this opening 1,000 times, right? So Naeun has followed the approach of Pit Protoss, where he's like, well, this is the standard opening for PvT and PvZ. Why don't I just use it versus Protoss too? And even though it's not really solid, technically, he's executing it really well, because you can tell he's done it before, man. He's playing like really nice. So what we want, by the way, another little point, if they've expanded like that, they can't really compete on the map with you, right? So you can proxy way closer. Probably should have mentioned this earlier, because this would have won you the last game, maybe the one before that as well. But there were so many other little things for you to focus on that I was kind of honing in on those a little bit. So do not be afraid to do it just a little bit closer. We're going to go through one more time here, focusing on this. And to be honest, just working on your confidence and engagements in your micro is really important for PvP, for the early stages. Your ability to identify when to push in and just focus that immortal down. How to make sure your adepts are always in front of your units, or your zealots are always in front of your stalkers. When to pull in, and when to commit and when to pull back. Because some of these fights, you're making really good decisions. You're like, I can take this, bam, move forward, shoot the immortal, move forward, shoot the immortal. Other fights, you'll go in, and you're kind of tunnel visioning on one aspect of the fight and taking a really bad engagement, not realizing that you should have pulled back. So I can kind of see you learning as we go and taking better engagements as you get more experience with it. And most importantly as well, getting the rhythm of going and warping in and then going to attack your opponent. It's going to be really nice. So are you ready?
Yeah. Oh,
cool,
I need
cool.
to go to...
All right, let's do it. All right. Same build, guys. Last one for today. This time, Naeun, I'm sorry, but you will fall. Good luck, have fun. Here we go. It's a smaller map, but most importantly, you're gonna proxy a little bit closer. You're gonna remember to pylon scout. This is the one where it all comes together. I'm gonna walk you through the opening a little bit more and remind you of things like that probe scout. And this one's gonna be beautiful. Good luck, man. Yeah, Rage McFly. Like, I was getting way too angry. I was like, why isn't he doing the things? This is why I mute myself, right? Because for me, it's more fun to just kind of express myself while I'm watching. Otherwise, I get super bored of coaching. But this is kind of how I learned StarCraft as well. I express myself. Often, you know, I'll be like, my opponent's an idiot. His build is shit, right? I'll say something like that. The way I learn is I then listen to my own voice and I go, that's a really stupid thing to say. and then I go, actually, I think you're wrong because of X and X. How about we actually focus on this and this instead? And that makes, and we go, oh, actually, maybe I shouldn't expect, you know, in this case, maybe I shouldn't expect a player in Platinum who hasn't played 400,000 games of StarCraft like me to instantly know how to focus fire everything in micro. Maybe he's a guy who does just macro up and A moves his way to victory a lot of the time. That's a lot of people. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, cool. Well, we want to get him focused on these other elements. And this helps your macro play as well, because you just get more in tune with micro. It helps you hold off all-ins, because you get involved in these scrappy fights more often. Once you've done it on the offensive side, you learn what beats you on the defensive side and how powerful defense can be if you're patient, you stutter step units backwards, and you do all that sort of stuff. And yeah. Cheers, Rage McFly. Cheers. Trying to do our best. Yep, second pylon. Very nice. Everything's looking beautiful, man. Alright, we've seen the next, so let's send that pylon to the proxy location. Just down, maybe below his third or fourth. Yeah, not too far, maybe a little bit further than that. That's like really close, but just a little bit further away. Let's get that double stalker and Stargate and everything. So remember, you don't need to put the pylon down yet. You've got to get your Stargate and stalkers going first. Yeah. Yeah, you got your dudes rallied onto your second gas, so it's a bit oversaturated. Get that double stalker going. So what you've done this time is you've actually rushed the Stargate. Now this is actually completely acceptable. It's not a problem. It does lose you a bit of control. So let's get these two gateway units started. You don't need a mothership core, remember? We don't need that unit. You need a pylon, proxied, and a pylon at home. Oh my gosh. Super sloppy, man. We'll get there.
I messed this order up bad. Oh well.
It's going to work out exactly fine, but you need to stay confident. Your problem is the moment you make a mistake, you make more mistakes. Get that Oracle started. Let's go. Come on, come on, come on. Let's go. Yeah, get these gateway units pumping out of there. Come on. Get that proxy gateway up. Immediately after the proxy gateway starts, get another fourth gateway at home. Come on, you can do this. Trust me, you're still going to hit a really crisp timing. Just trying to G him up a little bit. He needs a bit more G, guys. He needs a bit more G. It's that lack of confidence that I was talking about earlier at the start. It's like, come on, man, just fucking fight. Just fucking fight. Don't need to keep queuing up new gateway units. You'll have warp gate ready soon. So you can just wait for that and build a fifth gateway at home if you really want. Since we know you do have a tendency to miss macro a little bit here and there. That's absolutely fine. Alright. Great baiting there. Remember, just always pull back whenever you've got to warp in each time this game. Group up and then go back in. Just keep doing that. You got this really good. So many warp gates. Building pylons ahead of time. Beautiful. Let's get these warp ins going. Let's get this attack underway. Keep warping them in. He has this tendency, like, to have 3 or 4 gateways turning into warp gates, and he doesn't use the warp ins. Why is he building an extra pylon right now? I don't know. Stalkers are in absolute disarray. Come on, man. Come on, come on, come on. I'm going silent, guys. I'm letting him do it from here. He's taking the reins. Come on. Come on. No, no, no. What's he doing? He's attacking the 2 stalkers. Oh. Okay. It's okay. It's okay, guys. I'm getting too excited. Has he turned the Oracle on this time? That's the big question. He has. He's got 7 kills. How sick is that? That's awesome. He pulls back and he warps in. Yes. Yes. I don't like the Zealot. I've talked about that. I'd much prefer Adepts, but this is great. This is so much better, guys. I don't mind him building a second Oracle as well. Freestyle it. Do whatever you want. That's fine. He's got to pull back from that overcharge, though. Yep. Zealot in the back is a really bad habit. Yep, pulls back and does a warp in, and he knows he can do it. Oh, he made adepts, not zealots. Thank God. Guys, I have such a coaching boner right now. I'm so excited. Oh. This is what we wanted to see. Progress. Sweet, sweet, beautiful progress. Clicks on the Immortal. Adepts in front. Come on, get the Oracles in. Yes, he's going to do it. He can't hear me at all, by the way, guys. He's going to get the Oracles in. A little bit slow on that, but that's okay. The attack on the front is the most important bit.
And they're out of here.
Yeah, yeah, boy! Yeah.
Good stuff.
Incremental progress. That was awesome. That was awesome. You know, it's always hard when you're losing the game. You're losing the next game. You're losing the next game because you don't get to see the progress. But I got to see it. I got to see the progress from one game to the next. So I'm happy you stayed. You know, you had some faith. You still messed up your build order a little bit there. That's fine because you recovered afterwards. You know, you got focused. You got the warp gate down. You got the double oracle down. You did the oracle in the main while poking at the front. You got these adepts in front of the stalkers. You focused on the immortal. You were a little bit slow sending the oracles in the end. That doesn't matter. Why does it not matter? Because what I want you to focus on here is not from today's session to think about, look at all these mistakes I'm making. I want you to look at it as what are all these little things that I can improve on. Why? Because remember the story I told you at the start. I lost my first 3. I won maybe 3, at most 5 out of my first 10 games against GM players doing this. Same sort of all in against a fast expand, same situation. Even when I started winning, and I still win, like I'm not as messy now, but like say a month or 2 ago, I would be like, I've got 5 gateways, and there's an oracle that's been sitting there, and it's maxed out on energy because I forgot to use it, and I'm floating 1,000 minerals. Like it would look a lot like your games just there. I was just a little bit more on point with my like aggressive micro or something like that. But it was the same sort of thing where I'm making all these mistakes, but I was still winning, right? Because I was doing 1 or 2 things really well. So same for you. If you can just improve, like, bam, let's just get the build tight. And you know what? I have 0 micro. All I do is A move, but the Oracle timing is perfect. The Stalker timing is perfect. Even though nothing gets microed, you literally just click Oracle in and activate Laser Beam. A move Stalkers at the front, warp in more units. And you just warp in units like the second they cool down. Even if you do that, you will probably be beating most Diamond players with this build. Because you're just getting better at that one thing. So look at it as much as possible as let's just look at this for an area to improve. Tighten up the build, tighten up the micro. And how does this carry across to the rest of your PvP? Like I said, you can choose to just go for a fast all-in like this, just as your standard. You could just make this your standard PvP just to help you get more confident in the matchup and focus on it. I'm not saying long-term, this is going to be what you do every PvP, the same one base all-in for months and months. But I think it's a good way to get your confidence up, work on your micro, work on your control, and then we can start kind of looking back at macro play a little bit further down the track.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Really good progress. Add Neun for some more practice in the future. And yeah, even if your opponents don't expand, you can make this work, by the way. Just got to try and deny the scouting a little bit more. Obviously, maybe worry slightly more about adepts coming across the map. But you could still make the same sort of thing absolutely work.
Cool.
All right, you guys should all add each other for more practice. Great play, guys. Thanks so much for the help. All right, fantastic. Hit me up whenever you want to set up another session, Mr. Barnacle. And yeah. Good luck with all of your practice. You know, as always, if you want to really tighten it up, you can always hop in an empty custom game and practice out just the opening and really internalize that build order. Make sure you're always getting the scout out and all that sort of stuff.
Sounds good.
Awesome, man. All right. Well, have a great night. Let me know how it goes.
Sounds good. You too.
See you, man. Awesome.